Hello boys and girls, my name is SidAlpha, and we're coming here to take a look at yet another Digital Homicide game. For those of you who haven't stayed up to date on what's going on here, let me explain for you real quick. A while ago, the developers, Digital Homicide, decided they were going to sue a fellow YouTuber, Jim Sterling, to the tune of $10.76 million for slander and defamation of character. During the course of my reporting this, I decided I was going to review Digital Homicide's games out of a sense of fairness, because I felt perhaps maybe Jim Sterling was too close to the topic and there's a lot of bad blood between him and the developers at Digital Homicide, and I thought perhaps either he was being hypercritical because of bad blood or something like that. The potential existed, and so I decided I was going to review these on my own with a fresh pair of eyes to see if whether or not Jim Sterling was relaying accurate information to you, or whether or not he was being jaded and overly critical. And what I found has surprised me so far. We have so far from Digital Homicide, I still have yet to find a single game that could be classified as a good game. I've also come across multiple instances of games being reskinned and then resold as entirely new products. Even one instance where they changed the camera angle, and that was literally it, and then sold it as two separate games in the case of Wyatt Derp and Wyatt Derp 2. So if you haven't caught up on that, go back through the previous videos, guys. You'll probably get as pissed off as I was. So we are going to be taking a look today at Winged Knight's Penetration. So yes, boys and girls, this is Winged Knight's Penetration. And yes, this is of course literally all there is to the game. The game features a pair of characters that is designed strictly for two players, and the game's controls consist of three keys: A, D, and B for player 1, A and D for movement, left or right, and B for flight, of which you have to spam the button repeatedly, and player 2 gets the buttons 4, 6, and the right control for the same layout. Now, the main objective of the game is, obviously, to spear the enemy with your knight's trusty lance as you fight the controls and try and dodge around them. But wait, the difficulty and complexity doesn't end there. Oh no! There are also spikes on the ceiling that will skewer your character as well, and of course, the brothers at Digital Homicide managed to ruin even that what little humor there can be found in the game by throwing in their sad little attempt at levity by using the pathetic double entendres such as double penetration, triple penetration, and the like. Pinning such horrible attempts at humor onto a game that barely classifies as a level of a real game, it just hurts one's soul. Now, I wish there was more to show you, but this is quite literally the entire game, which is, of course, not even a game, but something that doesn't even contain enough content to qualify as a demo. And yet they are selling this as a completed finished product. Now, I know a lot of you are accustomed to me losing my cool, drinking on the camera because out of sheer frustration about how psychotically horrible these games continue to be from Digital Homicide, and just what a travesty they are, and what a horrible, horrible waste of time and money they are, and how much they can potentially suck out one's soul. But it was brought to my attention recently that we did have one person saying that you would probably be taken more seriously if you cussed less. And I scoffed at first, and as what happens generally when I meet a piece of constructive criticism, I go through my own little process in my brain, which follows along with, whatever, but I should probably think about this. And then I actually think about it, and then I realize, you know what, they're probably right. Because you see, boys and girls, what I set out to accomplish with my channel when I first started was to educate and inform and protect the consumer, you and me, and anyone else. That is not served by my losing my cool and acting in an unprofessional manner. In fact, a lot of you really enjoy the fact that I do maintain a level of professionalism. I am, of course, still making a concession for the sunglasses because I'm exceptionally tired and I would rather you concentrate on what I'm saying rather than the bags under my eyes. So with that, I have this to say, both to you and to Digital Homicide. Do not bother with any of these games of theirs that I have reviewed so far. They are, for the most of them, the amount of content you get doesn't even qualify for a demo for most other games, even though a lot of other games that cost the same amount of money. There are a lot of other games out there that are much more enjoyable, much more feature-rich, and have a lot more heart and soul and effort put into them than what you see with Digital Homicide's offerings. Now, it is blatantly clear with people like the Brothers Romine that they will continue their shady, duplicitous, anti-consumer business practices to try and dupe you out of as much money as humanly possible. And the reason why they're doing that is because they are capable of doing it, and because it does make them money. Despite people like myself spreading the word, there will always be consumers for absolute trash like these games. All I can do is to do my best to reach as many people as humanly possible to tell them what they will be getting into with things like this. Not that it's a waste of money, because let's face it, $1 or $2 in the end of the day out of your pocket is barely anything at all. But multiply that by hundreds or thousands of people, and the hours or days that they spend on these games makes it well worth their time and effort to continue to crank out trash like a conveyor belt. And unfortunately, that will continue to happen. And it is a shame, too, because I like to see people succeed. But I like to see people succeed where they actually deserve to succeed. The Brothers Romine are succeeding not out of any deservedness or out of any real genuine ability or talent, but because they are able to push out a conveyor belt of crap. And as such, there are a lot of people out there, there are always going to be people out there who have never purchased any of their games before, have never even heard of them before, and will be buying into these thinking it's interesting, as a concept, whereas they do not understand what they're getting is a feature-complete experience, much as the reviews that you will see on Steam Greenlight for Digital Homicide. And a lot of you are wondering, well, why don't I do this in a different video? Why aren't I reviewing the game? I did review the game. There's so little there with Winged Knight's penetration that that's quite literally all there is. You see even 10 seconds worth of gameplay or less, and that's quite literally all there is to the game. It is so bare bones, so minimalistic as to be completely and utterly irrelevant. And not only a waste of money, but a waste of your time. I would strongly recommend, if you are a fan of the show, instead of going out and spending $1 on their game, donate that to a Kickstarter for an interesting game. Help someone with a better and bigger idea. Help them along to be able to complete their dreams and their goals. People who have actual drive and a desire to succeed as games developers deserve that dollar a hell of a lot more than the brothers at Digital Homicide do. So instead of buying a Digital Homicide game, go invest in a Kickstarter. Or hell, even if I'll even throw out the selfish thing here and say, go to my Patreon and donate $1 there. Because I guarantee you, you will get much more content out of that $1, whether it be to a Kickstarter or another indie developer, or even my Patreon, than you will by giving it to Digital Homicide. The reason being is because these other projects, mine included, have actual thoughts and efforts put into them. Whereas the shovelware from Digital Homicide most certainly does not. That is my spiel for the night in regards to the brothers at Digital Homicide and how irrelevant and sad their game collection is. I will, of course, continue to review their games to be able to post reviews on their games when they come out to help warn and better inform the consumer. Because an informed consumer makes smart purchasing choices, and I hope they make the right choice by not purchasing these games. Once again, boys and girls, my name is SidAlpha, and I will see you next time. Hi there, boys and girls. Thanks for checking my video out. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to hit that like button and maybe even that subscribe button. Trust me, it works really good. Don't forget to share with your friends, and if you're interested in following me on Twitter and Facebook, the links for that are in the description down below. I also have a Patreon if you're interested in helping to support the growth of my channel, and the link for that is down below as well. And once again, thanks for watching and supporting my channel, guys. I really appreciate it.